Hello y'all, welcome back. My first video, I asked a question at the beginning. Have you fallen and broken a titty? And I also asked, are you experiencing erectile dysfunction? And I would like to address both of those questions today. I'm Buck, and I'm so glad you came back. If your first time here, I hope you enjoy yourself. So that first question, have you fallen and broken a titty? That was me having fun with a friend of mine. She's over 70, and she had been out doing her good deed of the day. She was delivering a coat to somebody in the hospital, and they really needed that coat. And she got turned around and couldn't figure out where she was going. And so in looking for where she was going, she stepped off the curb and fell. Well, she just had a hip installed about 8 weeks before that, and realizing, I don't want to fall and hurt my hip, she put her hand out in a fist to catch herself. And when she did, she all crumpled down and fell on her hand, and she said it hurt something awful, and she rolled over on her back and was just laying there moaning in pain when some man walked up and said, "Ma'am, are you all right?" And she said, "I don't know. I think I broke my titty." Well, I suppose you could break a titty. You definitely rupture some of them breast tissues or whatever tissues you've got up in there, silicone or injection or refolded muscle, whatever it is, fat. But anyway, at least she didn't break her hip, and her titty wasn't really broken. It just hurt for a couple of days. And thank goodness she didn't break the kitty either. So that was why I asked, have you fallen and broken a titty? You just never know what's going to happen. You just don't. Now, about that other question, I think what I asked in the video was, are you over 60 and do you have erectile dysfunction? Well, I want to talk about erectile dysfunction. I am over 60 and I'm not having erectile dysfunction, because I don't need an erection right now. Not for this video anyway. And so erections are a problem as it is. And we're going to talk about that. Dysfunction or what? So when we're young, they just pop up all over the place. You never know when they're going to happen. It can be very, very embarrassing, and other people can see that you got them. And wow, I remember one particular situation in 8th grade. I was in an audio-visual class. We were learning to use the video recorders. And I was on one side of the room, minding my own business, working on my project, and apparently I had an erection. And the girl on the far side of the room zoomed in on my erection, started filming, and then panned out. And as she panned out, it was very apparent it was me, and that I was having a moment where my interest had raised in something. Probably not with what I was doing, but I was in 8th grade. Those things happen. So, unfortunately, that day, I was the one who was running the videotape machine. So, I was playing the videos for everybody to watch. And when that video came on, I thought, Lord, what's this? And as it panned back, I became very aware of what it was. And that gave me an erection in front of the whole class. That was doubly embarrassing. But anyway, I call that dysfunction. That was definitely dysfunctional and quite embarrassing, but I got over it. So anyway, as we get older, even just a little bit older than that, we start to realize that our interest can pop up at times when we least expect it. And like Lucy asked in her drunken commercial, and I love Lucy, do you pop out at parties? Well, do you? Are you supposed to pop out at this party? Is this a party where other people are popping out? And if they are popping out or you pop out, what are y'all going to do with it? Those are things to consider before you pop out. And if you are popping out and you shouldn't be, maybe you should go to another room or think of something that helps your interest go away. But anyway, as we get older, I see on the news, I see in ads, I see on the internet, I see when I'm looking at adult things, that there are so many men experiencing erectile dysfunction. And there are ways to treat that. The first thing I want to mention is some people that's a medical condition. And there are treatments and toys that they can use to help with that. And for a lot of us, I'm wondering if that isn't really erectile discretion or erectile discernment. Because as we get old and we've had our experiences, some good and some not so good and some bad, some folks end up with STIs, some folks end up with pregnant girlfriends, some folks end up with any number of situations that they weren't planning on because they raised their interest and inserted it into places it probably didn't belong. So as you get older and you find that I can't really raise my interest in this situation. You might want to consider, is this a situation I'm really interested in? Look at what it is you're trying to do. Maybe this is one of those times where you tell your partner, it's not me, it's you. If you were a little more interesting or less of an asshole, I might be able to show some interest here. But as it is, I'm going to go home and work on this problem myself. You go on and finish without me. Other times, maybe it's just that as men, we've been trained to just get our interest raised, stick it in, and then leave our business behind. And I don't know that that's necessarily the best way to go either. Having a reputation as a good lover isn't a bad thing. It's not something most men live with, from what I hear, from women especially, that men are not necessarily the best lovers. Maybe we could be. Maybe we could take the time to do a little kissing, a little slapping and tickling, whatever it is our partner likes. You know, everybody's got places they like to be touched, ways they like to be kissed, places on their neck they like to be nibbled. Everybody's got some buttons they like rubbed. Maybe we could put some more time into pleasing our partners, and we might find that that raises our interest. Then we can insert ourselves in the most appropriate place. So is it erectile dysfunction? I'm having a hard time saying erectile. That seems dysfunctional. Is it erectile dysfunction? Or is it erectile discernment? Is it erectile discretion? I'll leave that with you to think about. Hope to see you again.